I want to move on to Jeff Goldscher, who works at HavitAdvertising, which is one of the fastest growing integrated marketing and advertising firms in the region, and he is one of those avid 347 million bloggers out there. Jeff has over 15 years of experience in retail advertising and direct marketing and brand management, and he's also the co-founder and partner of Aquarius Sports Group, a sports marketing firm. He serves as vice president of the Ulman Cancer Fund's board of directors, and I'm very happy to turn it over to Jeff.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Jeff Goldscher, and during the day my job is to be president of HavitAdvertising and help run Aquarius Sports Group, and most of our clients in those companies are in the sports, retail, and entertainment space. So we had to get really smart as an agency very quickly about how this new media was impacting our clients. And my night job, as I like to call it, is working with the Ulman Cancer Fund for young adults. We've been doing their creative work as an agency for 3 years, and I've been on the board for now 2.5 years. And one of the things that we learned very quickly was that we were going to have to get into this space. So it's been a very nice opportunity for us to some extent be one of the earliest adopters in the new mediums and trying to understand exactly how to leverage social to grow our organization. So really, why social media for nonprofits is the question we asked ourselves. And this was really back as early as December or January of last year. We've certainly felt the freeze of the new economic era very quickly. The economic recession really hurt our fundraising efforts. We knew that in the future we'd have to make better use of our volunteers and mobilize them. And looking at our existing budget, we had to make hard choices. We had to find ways logistically to cut costs to stay alive. So for the Ulman Cancer Fund, what we didn't want to do was pack it in and not understand how to accomplish our mission, which was to educate, connect, and support. So the answer seemed obvious to us, particularly given the fact that, as Julie pointed out, we have a niche. Our niche happens to be young adults who are fighting cancer. These people are already active in the social media space, so the answer really seemed obvious to us. We had to get smarter as an organization about social media quickly. So what have we done? A lot, but certainly not enough. And I'll recommend a great book to everyone to get started. It's called Groundswell, and it's by a couple of Forrester researchers. And where we found it really helpful to us was it talks about how looking at your marketing objectives can then help you figure out what social media technologies are right for you. And that's really where it needs to start, we thought. It's not just about making cool use of a technology. It's really about using this technology to accomplish your social media or your regular objectives. So we learned. We got everyone online in the organization, and we got everyone connected. We figured out that mostly the organization was using Twitter and Facebook, so that's where we decided to focus our efforts. We figured out what kinds of conversations were happening in social media, so we knew what to say and where to say it. For instance, it's great to use Twitter, we found, to post articles, to build awareness of an event, and potentially for some fundraising. But we also had to be sure that it didn't become an area where we started debating cancer funding or someone passed along a bad piece of advice in the name of the cancer fund. We had to put some standards together on how to appropriately communicate via social media. That's going to be a big part of our brand moving forward. Organizationally, therefore, we had to commit some assets. We hired some interns to really monitor the social media landscape on an ongoing basis, understand what conversations are happening in the cancer community, and let people in the organization know how to respond. We also, at the board level, appointed a social networking committee. We took myself, a gentleman by the name of Chris Chodnicki, who has a company called R2 Integrated, which does a lot of web work, a couple of folks who are active in the brand management space, people that were using social media as part of their jobs every day. As Eduardo pointed out, there's new technology coming online all the time. We knew as a board we had to stay on top of that so we could better advise the organization how that fit in. Again, we're thinking 18, 24 months ahead now that we feel like we've caught up a little bit. So what we've tried to do is use Twitter to pretty successfully over the past couple of months promoting events and fundraising for our Team Fight program. So do we have any answers? We have some, but not a whole lot. Just like everyone else has said, the medium's still new, and it really requires constant engagement and awareness of new technology. As I mentioned, we did appoint the Board Social Networking Committee. We're viewing new technology, we're vetting technology for everyone, and we're really helping direct the organization. We're going to work closely with the interns and the staff. And we've made an ongoing daily commitment across the organization to use the technology. Social media has to be something that you use in everything that you do. It can't just be something you find time to do, and that's really important. We've also kept learning from other nonprofits and also from the for-profits. For instance, we just launched a sweepstakes via Twitter fairly successfully for a profit client. Why couldn't we launch a fundraising effort just as successfully using Twitter on the nonprofit side? And we're trying to make that work for us. So a couple of quick tips on how you can get started out there. The first thing I'll recommend to everyone is sign up on Twitter. Pick some interesting people to follow. I put a couple on here that I thought were interesting from a range of areas. Livestrong CEO Doug Ullman happens to be one of the founders of the Ullman Cancer Fund for Young Adults. And now he's certainly in a position where he has the opportunity to take place in incredible meetings, pass along really interesting news. I highly recommend following him. A couple of other interesting people, Mark Cuban and Shaquille O'Neal. Certainly I don't think either of those requires a huge introduction. What was interesting is the way that they were using Twitter to communicate amongst each other and rally followers. You saw a similar thing with Ashton Kutcher and CNN. Really the neat thing about Twitter, finally I listed myself, follow normal people. Everyone has a point of view, and Twitter's a really easy way for it to be expressed. There's some pretty easy tools out there to help you manage a Twitter feed. I'd recommend TweetDeck. But just being part of the conversation and understanding how this media is being used is really important. I also recommend you join other nonprofits if you're out there on Facebook. Nonprofits on Facebook, Facebook Marketing Solutions. There's some really great tools out there. Also a blog, Beth's blog, How Nonprofits Can Use Social Media. A great resource to learn what others are doing and how it might be able to help yourselves. Finally, there's 3 things that I'd recommend that you do once you get online and are using social media as an organization. The first thing is to be authentic. People expect to see you in social media, not a PR person or a cleaned up version of your organization. The second thing is to really be active. The more that you can be out there posting, reading, commenting, learning, the more you become part of the online community and the stronger relationships you'll build as an organization. And finally, be aware. There are many different monitoring tools to see what conversations are happening out there. Make sure that you find them, make sure that you use them, and make sure that you use them for your organization. The more you can learn, the more aware you can be. And that's all I've got to add today.
Thanks, Jeff. That was great and really informative. I appreciate you being here.